Hello everyone, and welcome to what is essentially going to be a narrative battle report in a kind of sense. It's part of my first stage of experimentation really with filming techniques and so on. But I prefer the narrative style of battle reports, so this is going to have a narrative to it, and it's surrounding the Blood Angel training moon of Lohan 4, which orbits one of the many planets that they kind of frequent, although the planets that are not habitable, it's just a wasteland, and so is the moon to a larger extent. But what they've done is they've constructed like a mini city and different areas on it for them to train in. It's like small training base for them really, as opposed to like a whole planet. And they were due to have the next. So what happens is they go in there. They have like Space Marines, and Terminators, and Scouts, and all this kind of thing. They each go train in their separate groups, doing what they know best under their tutors and so on. And the next group of all these sort of candidates were coming along to train, which is what they do in any off sort of period. Only they've lost contact as they got near to the point where they got there. They lost contact. They thought that was a bit strange, so the commanders basically he's got two groups of two squads of scouts, so he's sending them down with 3 bikers. One of the bikers is a chaplain, so he's going to go and see what the deal is. Now it's not, because on the upper atmosphere there's kind of I don't know, it's clouded, or there's something blocking the sensors, so they can't quite see what's going on until they get there. But he's just sending the scouts for now as a precautionary measure, which is good, because when they get there they find that there's some Tyranids infesting the moon. So what they've got to do, they've got to get to the communications array and get it back online to kind of warn all the other Blood Angel chapters, other segments of the Blood Angels, and to stay away until they can sort it out, because they think, well, we can sort this out, this is not going to be too big of a problem. So that's what they're doing. Now the Blood Angels have a squad of 5 Terminators in reserve, to 10 Marines with a Rhino, which they would have gone on. They wouldn't have gone in the Rhino, but they're going to go down in the Rhino now, obviously, but not until like turn 3 maybe. There's all sorts going on, as we'll see when we get to the board, but yeah, that's kind of what's happening. There's a Dreadnought too, Furiosa Dreadnought. They always have one Dreadnought at least on this moon at any one time. It's not a detail that any Dreadnought wants to have really, but they kind of rotate it. They do it in turns. Sometimes they have other chapter. They could have like an Ultramarines Dreadnought there. Sometimes that's to train the Tech Marines into the care and well-being of looking after Dreadnoughts. That, and they're kind of like regarded as the elder, more wiser rulers of the whole shebang kind of thing while they're there. Anyway, I'll get into more detail when we take a look at the board and what's going on. Okay, so this is the board, the table for the game. As you can see at the moment, we have a group of scouts on either side of this hill structure here, and the 3 Space Marine bikers in the middle. So what has happened is, literally after getting through the kind of misty atmosphere from above, so they were up, they dropped down, then they're riding over, and as they're sort of going through the terrain, they notice Tyranids, which their readout suggested anyway. Now in reserves they have in reserve. There is a Rhino, which is going to be carrying a squad of 10 tactical marines, one with a flamer, the sergeant with the chainsword there on the end. Got the Furioso Dreadnought, the squad of Terminators with the Terminator captain there, and that's it. So other than what you see on the board, well, tell a lie, there are 2 bikes. Scout bikes, which will come on as well later on. And yeah, so this is what they're up against. Now this is the communications array that they have to get to. They just have to get to it as an infantry in base contact with it for at least 1 turn. And that's what's going to happen. The Tyranids have been, well, eating everything up on this planet. This is the kind of the last section here now. Already on the table is some 10 Hormagaunts there, 10 Hormagaunts there, 6 Ripper swarms. This bastion, the Tyranids kind of know as, well, they kind of knew it's of some importance, and they know that something's going to be coming for it. So it was kind of a bait to draw more life in actually some more biomass that they can consume. So, but they've put a spore mine on the 3 sides of it because they don't think anything's coming from this end. We have the Broodlord there, some Gene Stealers. This strange structure, nobody knows what it is at this stage, but it spawns. At the moment it can spawn either Gene Stealers or Hormagaunts. Maybe it can spawn other stuff. There's a Lictor here hiding in the trees as well. Over here, another group of Gene Stealers and a Biovore. And that's kind of what they've got. Now, as you can see, this is not a point-balanced game by any means. It's not supposed to be. It's a narrative story. It's not a campaign, but I like the stories, I like the narratives, and that's how it's going to be for me. So, the scouts, that's what they can see there. So if they look through their kind of telescopic sights, that's what they see. They see a Broodlord and some Gene Stealers. That's Ripper swarms. So they know what they've got to do. These guys are just going to zoom on their bikes. Chaplain in the front there, will come to him during the game. And this other group of scouts here, got a rocket launcher on the end here now. They're all sniper. So we'll see how that goes. Alright, on with the game. So, welcome to Lohan 4. This is the setup of the board and this is how it's going to start. We've got our one group of scouts here. And he is led, well, they are, all the scouts are actually led by Sergeant Garrett here. This is Sergeant Garrett. That's him there. And over the other side, another group of scouts here. And they are kind of led by he's not a sergeant or anything, he's just slightly more experienced than the others. So they look to him for guidance. And in the middle we've got the Blood Angel Space Marines led by the Chaplain Crixus in the middle with his Crozius Arcanum there held high, and he is a Psycho Mastery level 1. Bear in mind this is my narrative report, so I'm going to go through a couple of the rules that I remember now that I'm going to be using. I've given him Force, but I'm also giving him Iron Arm because I think it'll fit the narrative. So he's going to have those there. Okay. Now, unlike other games, I suppose, these bikes don't have to remain in cohesion. They can split off, which is probably what they will do. Obviously, these guys are going to have to make difficult terrain tests to get over these rock edges. All the terrain on the board counts as difficult, apart from this one swamp here, which counts as dangerous. Everything else is difficult. Just bear in mind that is where they need to get to. So speed is the key with this. Okay, so we're going to roll off, see who actually gets to go first. I'm going to have the red dice being the Blood Angels, the green dice being the Tyranids, just to see, because they're already deployed. A normal go first tactics don't work. Like I say, this is a narrative game, purely designed for me to experiment with my filming technique, so please bear that in mind. So, Tyranids get to go first. Okay, so still getting used to this kind of setup. So as you can see here, the Tyranids are going to move from these positions here, because that's how they are deployed. I want them deployed that way for the narrative. Okay, so I'll come back to you after I've moved them initially. Remember, they're assault. They're an assaulty type force. I got the idea from the other game I played, the Fate of Fame recreation, assault versus shooty. It kind of seems to work. So yes, bear that in mind. Their main goal is just to try and slow down the Space Marines. So see once they've moved. So this is just how it looks after the Tyranids have done their initial movement phase. Starting left to right. Bible's just staying where he is, so he's going to keep in this position. So you can maybe fire on them as the Marines come down. Gene Stealers that were in these trees, difficult terrain, they rolled 5, so yeah, not bad, so getting out and over the cliff edge. The Homogods here moved up 6 to standard, as did the Carnifex, the Broodlord, the Ripper Swarm, but these Gene Stealers are going over this kind of skull pit here, which is I class again as difficult terrain. And the Lictor moved out of the trees, he's heading towards this Imperium statues there. Okay, now we're not going to do any psychic powers this go. We've got the Broodlord there who can do, but we're going to move on to the shooting phase, which is not going to be much happening because there's not much to shoot. So they're all going to run again. So that's what they're going to do. Okay, this is how it looks after they've run. So with the difficult terrain as well. We got some good rolls though. So the Homogods on this side initially, they're past the main obstacle there, so they're over it and they're ready to head up the board there. Ripper Swarms, not moving quite so fast. G Stealers off in their difficult terrain now. Broodlord, he's not doing an awful lot, he's just staying where he is. Carnifex just moved up to this behind cover of a bit of rubble building there. Homogods and Gene Stealers over here are running through. And yeah, everyone else, that's it. So there's no assault to have. The Lictor, he just moved up closer to this statue here. And the Blood Angels are faced with this terror that is heading towards them. Both sides. Okay, so let's start with the Blood Angels. After main movement, did quite well getting off these rocks on this side. The bikes have zoomed up the middle here. Obviously not slowed by difficult terrain being bikes. These guys didn't do quite so well, only moving to the edge of the rocks. Okay, Chaplain is going to cast Iron Arm on himself, so he's going to generate his warp powers. So D6 plus 1, so he's got 4 warp charges to try and get Iron Arm off, which will give him +3 to his strength and toughness, and he gains the Smash special, which I think could be handy here. So let's just see. Oh yeah, he's got 2, goes off with 2 there. So the Tyranid Broodlord would try and deny that and throw all of the all 4 dice are trying to deny that. So, nada. Nothing. So he's got iron on, so that's good. Okay, these guys actually fired, the scouts, the snipers fired, because they can see 4 of them. Could see the hormones. See there, like, yeah, there's like 4 of them that got through. But they didn't. They need 4s to hit. They didn't roll any, so 4 dice less than 4s. That wasn't. These guys can't actually see any of these over here, so that's a shame. And these poor fellows are a hair's width short of firing distance. So I'm thinking they're going to. Whether the best thing is to run or not. Sorry, I say run, I mean turbocharge, sorry, vehicles and all that. Also, I should mention at this stage that reserves are not going to be coming in for the Marines until turn 3 at least. So they don't get the opportunity, whereas the Tyranids will get to go reserves possibility from turn 2. So the question is, do I try and tie up some Tyranids in assault, make the ultimate sacrifice, or do I try and zip around the board, leave the poor scouts to it? I think the guy on the right is going to, because they can separate, so that's what I'm going to do. He's probably going to go up to there. These 2 will just, well, stay where they are, I think. Or shall I? No. Okay. No, I've made my decision. I'm going to stay where we are. We're not assaulting either. So that's it. So it's Tyranids. Turn 2. Okay, so after first initial movement phase for the Tyranids, turn 2. As you can see, the reinforcements came, they got homogons, and they've moved up the board. Not the ones that spawned, they can't move first go, that's just the way I want it to be. These guys have moved up. The Biovore's moved into the trees there. See if I can get a shot at that biker over there. That one there from here, I'm thinking. Get it, but we'll see. Okay, so that's what I'm going to check. I'll see if I can hit him with my spawn mine cluster and see what we can see. This Lictor has moved up here. His aim is to run into the trees here and then towards these scouts. So, come back to you when that's done. Well, he had the blast there, but it moved that way 4 inches because his ballistic skill is 3, so he hit nothing essentially. So that's the only thing really that can shoot at this point. So everyone else is going to run. Come back to you once that's done. Okay, so this is what the board looks like after all the running is done. As you can see, the colour effects is in ruins there at the moment. Broodlord is moving up. He's getting ready to cast the horror at this stage. I forgot to do it last time. There's so much to remember in this, but yeah. And I've got these small ones over there now. So not really do much, but yeah. So it is the Blood Angels turn 2. Still no reinforcements. Right, so that's quite a good round of shooting for the Blood Angels, the scouts. They could all see the Hormoguts through the cover there using my laser sight pointer. So they shot a few, killed a few. Chaplain managed to kill a Ripper Swarm. That guy, he completely missed his target. This guy killed a Gene Stealer. Only one of these could see their targets. got one, and the missile launcher managed to kill 4 Hormagaunts. So that's it. Oh, and the chaplain managed to get off Iron Arm, so he's got Iron Arm again. Strength 3 plus 3 to strength and toughness. So that should help. So on to Tyranids. Okay dudes, lots happening this round. Obviously moved up as normal. The Lictor has. The Lictor's got to fire his flesh hooks at these space wings. Now you could do that. If I can find. There he is. So flesh hooks. 6 inches. Yeah, he would get him. There we go, got 3 attacks. 3 attempts. Ballistic skill is 3, so he's hitting on 4s. Nothing. Oh well. That was it. That was the only thing I forgot. Sorry about that. Right, Bioball fired on this one, but the cover of the trees and whatever. He's okay. No other casualties, but we've just basically moved. That is it. Pretty much. I'm leaving those spore mines where they are for now. Not much they can do at the moment, although I've got an idea for next time, maybe. So it is now Blood Angels turn 3, and so we can bring on some reserves. Now, so we've got 1, 2, 3, we've got 4. So the Marines and a Rhino, so 1 to 4. And re-roll 5s and 6s. So ready? So 1. There's the Tactical Marines in the Rhino. And that's the end of a very awkward Blood Angel round. Managed to kill a few things. The Lictor is gone for 1. But this biker here, he hit the G-Stealer but just bounced off his shell. That's pretty poor. Managed to kill 1 G-Stealer, 1 Ripper Swarm here by throwing a is it a crack grenade, I think, the one with the black template. So managed to do that. Rhinos moved up a bit there, and yeah, so that's it for Blood Angels turn 3. On to Tyranids. Okay, so starting with the Biovore, still sitting in the trees waiting for the Blood Angels to come up. Things have moved up here. Assault has been made here, and 3 of the scouts in that squad were taken down. Ongoing. G-Stealers moved direction. So I think we're hoping to engage the Rhino just to slow it down. This Carnifex is certainly trying to slow it down. G-Stealers have charged, lost 1 due to Overwatch, charged the bike, and the Hormagaunts there have just moved up, as you can see. So this is what it's looking like at the moment. There's the battlefield. Still no closer to this communications relay as we move into Blood Angels turn 4. Okay, movement phase over, and the Tactical Marines have dispersed from the Rhino. Not sure what they're going to do yet. Dreadnought was the reinforcement for this round. Going to try and take on the Carnifex. Still got to deal with this ongoing assault here. Now, 2 sneaky bikers, the one that was there, and the chaplain. One has gone basically right around there with his 12 inches, and the other one's gone straight across past the dangerous terrain roll, and he's heading up to try and take out the spore mines. So he's been sneaky. Right, okay. Okay, so this is the state of play. The poor scouts, down to the sergeant, down to him, Sergeant Garrett, and there he is, fighting on his own. So he passed his his kind of leadership check thing, you know. So he's really tough. He's bold. He's not scared. Unfortunately, the Carnifex is just out of range of the Dreadnought's frag cannon. These guys are moving. Everyone's just trying to run for it. Make a run for it now. These bikes are moving up. This could be it. If the Bioball doesn't try and take him down next go. So Tyranids turn 5. Okay, so the Bioball moved down slightly over the dangerous terrain, fired his spore mine thing, cannon, and missed. Just 3 more spore mines there. The Gene Stealers, the Hornets, they're turning back, they're running after the bikers now because they can see the threat. And the poor sergeant, he got killed. The Hormagaunts, they consolidated. They're moving in to go for these tactical marines. Gene Stealers over here have declared a charge on the scouts. They're assaulting them. And yeah, that's it. Okay, we'll forget what's going on down here for the moment, but the exciting part is up here, where the bikes, well, this one's just leapt off of there and zoomed over, trying to avoid the spore mines. He's just out of range of that one, which is good. He's got to dismount and get up to there, and it looks like he's going to do it if he can survive that Biovore. So yeah, let's see what's going to happen with that. Tactical Marines, although it's still don't matter much what's happening down here now. They are heading towards those Hormagaunts and Ripper Swarm, trying to take them out. The last of the reserves, 2 biker scouts, the Terminators came in. We're all gonna take on this Carnifex. Hormagaunts joining in that fight, presumably. And there's an assault going on over there. So let's get to it. Right, various stuff going on. The chaplain is now up there. He's got to survive another round, probably from the Biovore. I can't see anything killing the Biovore this go. It's round 5. I think it's going to be the final round. And yeah, it's going to be Tyranids turn 5. Well, the Blood Angels have done it. They've got the communications array back up and running. The Biovore missed with his shot, which was very fortuitous, because if he hadn't, they'd be in trouble. It was really hard actually to get them. I know there was a few other rules like Furious Charge and all that kind of stuff that I didn't implement this game, but I just thought, I'll start a bit simple and do it gradually. So that's how it ended up, with the last of the reserves coming in. Carnifex, although he went down to 2 wounds, still pretty tough guy. Although I think they would have taken him with the Dreadnought and the Rhino as well, and all those marines. I think they would have done it. It's just it was a lot harder than I first thought. There we are, that's the final scene, the carnage. Thanks for joining me on this kind of mini narrative battle report. So from me to you, what I'm essentially looking at is the filming technique. So remember that, bear that in mind. I'm not here to do so many points versus so many points. That's not how I want to do it. Although obviously if someone came to play and they wanted to do that, that'd be fine. I would do that. That's not a problem, and I probably will do that later on. But for now, I'm all about the narrative. So thanks for joining me. Yeah, I forgot loads of stuff, I'm sure. And yeah, but I'll get better and better with each one. So see you on the next one, guys. Till then, bye for now.